my video. And today we're in my daughter's room. It's a bit messy, but super cute. And I love my chair my mom got me, and Journey's currently sleeping. Cute, isn't it? Journey's sleeping on me because she was Miss Fussy and wants mommy. So my last video I was talking about the imposter syndrome that I think a lot of us can relate. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch my video. Another reason why I love social media is I was inspired because I had a wonderful comment from a great friend of mine saying like, Anik, you're so successful at Scentsy because you've worked so hard before Scentsy. And sometimes we need people to help us to realign, but also I kind of like to share when I'm depressed or when I'm feeling vulnerable, because people just think like I'm bulletproof and like I'm perfect and I have a perfect life. Yeah, I will often say that I'm perfect and I have a perfect life because I am manifesting that into my life. Hey, Nika? Hey? That's my third clothes there. Nika? You're so cute. So, a lot of times if, let's say me and Chris have a fight, I'll share that, because we don't fight often. I'll share that with people so that I can relate with them when it comes to relationships. And I think sometimes I struggle sometimes too, because it's good for me to come back and relate to people because I love to share. And someone's like, Anik, you're so vulnerable. I love it. I had watched a TED Talk on vulnerability, and go search TED Talk vulnerability and you will find the most amazing TED Talk. And if you don't know what TED Talks is, oh my gosh, you need to go check it out. And it's a woman who started researching vulnerability, and when you're vulnerable, you're being your true self. When you're being your true self, you're being vulnerable. And the magic happens when you're vulnerable. And when I was in high school, and I'll have to do another video about my story, but I was a teenager that suffered with crazy amounts of mental health, anxiety. I was highly suicidal, and I'm so proud of myself for being here today, because I never really thought I would be here today, because I wanted to call quit so many times. But I have no shame in my story, you know? I just don't. So when I moved to Ottawa, so I'm from Hanmer, and I moved to Ottawa when I was 17 years old, and I knew 3 people in the city, and I decided to live and be me and start working on myself. But my whole life I've been on this like self-discovery, and I've been trying to find myself. But when you're younger and trying to find yourself, you can catch yourself in trouble because you're saying no, or you're asking a lot of questions, and then you get in trouble. So when I went to college, I started meeting people that were a lot like me. I started attracting really cool people that would tell me some really cool stories like, Anik, do you know what indigos are? And I'm like, no. Well, you should Google it, because I'm pretty sure you're an indigo. And an indigo is someone who doesn't like authority, doesn't like when people say no, likes to make their own path, doesn't like the norm. It's always asking questions about everything going on. Like, you're asking me to go over here, but what's going on over there? And Nick, don't worry about it. Well, now that you don't want me to check or ask about this, I'm now curious to know what's going on over there. So that's kind of an indigo. And when I started researching indigos, I started realizing that I'm definitely an indigo. And an indigo is a spirit that was meant to be here on planet to be the change that they want to see in the world, to be the change. They are little warriors creating new paths for the world. For so long, I was just like so depressed that we needed to be in this little box, and I just don't like a box. I rather a circle or a triangle or an octagon or a hectagon. Like, what's with the box? Why do you want me to be in a box? Why do I need to be good at school? Why do I need to go get a career? Why? I'm just curious, like, why is this what life is all about? It just was really depressing and made me really sad. So when I was in college, I started meeting people that would tell me that they're an indigo, and then they're empath. Do you know what an empath is? An empath is someone who feels everything. So sometimes you think you're depressed or you're anxious. You're actually feeling other people's anxiety and other people's depression. So then I started learning about grounding myself. And every time I'm walking around, take off my socks, my shoes and my socks, and walk bare feet to ground myself. I imagine roots coming out of my feet. Right now I'm sitting down, I'm imagining roots digging into the floor, going into the ground. I'm imagining a beaming of white light coming through me and grounding myself. Because so many times I would be caught in my imagination and I would just be like imagining all this world and all this amazing things, and I would just be imagining, and I would be in the clouds often. I would just be daydreaming often, and I was told that because you're a human, you need to stay grounded. You can't be caught thinking out there, because your spirit will be outside half of your body. We need to stay grounded. Right now, we are human beings and we are meant to be here. So I started learning all this stuff and meeting so many cool people. And I started learning about Reiki, hands-on healing, and how to heal yourself, because Reiki is all about healing yourself. And I started healing myself, and I went to San Francisco and did a breatharian cleanse. I went to Honduras and volunteered 2 weeks, a week at the Honduras Jungle School, and then I went a week in Nicaragua to sightsee and meet the locals and learn how to surf. I did a lot of online courses, and I did Reiki all the way to master level. So I did a lot of work on myself. I journaled every day, affirmations every day, meditated big time. Nika, no. So I did a lot of work on myself. All of a sudden, there was one day, probably about 7 years ago, I was like, man, Facebook is so negative. I am going to be the change I want to see in the world. And I decided that I will only post positive things on Facebook. Only positive at all times. So then after like 2 years, all of a sudden, I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker as well. So 2 years later, I'm getting a lot of friend requests, and people are noticing that I'm super positive, and I started becoming this positive role model, and I'm just Miss Positive, but I'm just sharing other positive posts. So, and then all of a sudden I started getting asked to go in schools and share my story and being positive and how to be positive, and I was like, wow, this is so interesting. So a long time before Scentsy, I started working on myself, and I started going on the path that I meant to be. I started being vulnerable and being me and not having any shame, because when I'm not me, it makes me depressed. It gives me anxiety. It feels like I'm living a lie. So sometimes people think like, oh, you're too much, Anik, or, or sometimes I'm like, oh my God, Anik, you're too much. I don't even rewatch my videos because I'm like, ugh, I'm going to want edit, change it, blah, 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 blah. You wanted to say this, but I ended up saying this because I'm French. And words just mix up in my mind, and I would just do all this editing, and now it's just like, you know what, this is me, this is raw, this is what's going on in my brain, you're inside my brain right now, and you're just getting it. This is just what's happening. I'm not doing any editing. There's nothing. Oh, I didn't put time to put some makeup on. I need to wash my hair. I'm a mother, and who cares? You know what? Who cares? I don't care about any of this. I want to be real. I want to be honest. I want to be me, and I want to give you my heart. And I hope that you relate. And a lot of people are telling me they're relating to my videos. I'm like, I'm so happy. Is Journey still sleeping? Yeah, she's totally still sleeping. So this is how I became successful in my Scentsy career. I think what happens is that when you find yourself, you have to lose yourself first. And then you create yourself, really. I didn't find myself. I created myself. And I started being vulnerable and just being open and just doing the things that I want to do. And sometimes you're like, should I do that or should I do not? I just do it, and then I learn from it. So because I started being more vulnerable, being more me, I find that I started attracting more me things. I started attracting more opportunities specifically for me. So all of a sudden, because I've done Arbonne, Melaleuca, Alouette, Gia. There's a few more I've done. There's Asaya. These are all multi-level businesses, and I've never sold anything. I've never succeeded at any of these. And I'm a salesperson. Like, I sell mining gear to mining equipment, mining companies before when I had a full-time job, but I quit it because they didn't want to give me 3 weeks holiday to go to China and Thailand. So I said, well, I'm going to quit. Like, unpaid. Like, well, if I had to give everybody unpaid leave, nobody would be working. I said, people can't afford it. I save my money. I don't buy name brand things. I buy secondhand stuff. If you ever come, Z, shut up. Sorry, be quiet, Z. If ever you come to my house, everything is pretty much secondhand because we like holidays, we like vacations, we like adventures. I like to feel things instead of seeing things and be like, oh wow, that desk cost me $1,000. That's ridiculous. Z, shut it. I'm doing a video. Can't you see? So I think because I was so true to myself, I started attracting blessings because God, the universe, knows to be vulnerable and to do the things that to be you takes a lot of courage. And to push away your fears, to tell yourself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be me regardless if I think that I'm not good enough. I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to fake it till I make it. For me to keep doing that, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, knows it takes courage, and you get blessings and beautiful energy starts flowing into your life. And I think that's what happened with me and Scentsy. Things just started aligning, and just things just started happening, and it just happened all at the same time because I sacrificed so much. I sacrificed a lot of friends, for me being me and being a bit selfish. I sacrificed situations, adventures. I sacrificed a lot of things to work really hard to get to where I am. But I wouldn't change it all. The people that are in my life right now were meant to be in my life. And the things that have happened in my life were meant to happen, even though they're really, really shitty things. And the more with this video, the more I'm going to share with you the crazy, shitty things that's happened and the crazy things that I've done in my life. Can you hear? She's passed out. So, if you want to be successful at anything, you got to work hard, but you have to be you. People need to know you. I did tons of videos on Facebook and just really being really silly. And a lot of people said a few times, I've been cyberbullied on Facebook at one point, and people said I should be in the loony bin. And that was like terrifying and heartbreaking, more heartbreaking than I meant terrifying. But I wouldn't change it for anything. Like, I love me. And I've attracted the most wonderful people in my life that appreciate me and love me for me. I've attracted the most amazing company that loves me for me. By the way, have you tried their bath bombs? OMG, I just got this in the mail. Oh my gosh, Honeymoon Hideaway and Lucky and Love, can't wait to try it. Actually, this is a customer's order. And I was like, man, should I order more and try this? No, I have to hook it up. If you haven't tried Scentsy's bath bombs, you need to try it. So my website for my Scentsy store is always in the description. Feel free to go shopping, and I always send thank you happy mail to my customers who order online. Okay, so if you want to be successful at anything, be you. Brand yourself. Who are you? Do you know? But that's okay if you don't know. Just do it. Just go out and do videos, regardless if you didn't put makeup on. Regardless, just be you and be vulnerable. And people are going to relate to your story. People are going to relate to you. And it's so important. And I think that that's why I became so successful, because I am me. And when you find you, it's like going to Wonderland. You've been walking the bush the whole time, and then all of a sudden you find Wonderland. It's like, and there's toys, and there's magic, and there's candy, and there's chocolate, and there's roller coasters, and you're like, oh my God, this is such a wonderful place. Because you finally found you. It's just this wonderful comfort. And Nick, do you ever get afraid of making videos? Yeah. Do you ever get afraid, Nick? Yeah. Do you slack from your spirituality? Yeah. Do you ever slack on your business? Yeah. But then we just get back onto the road. And then we keep on going, keep on trucking. Life is like this, man. You got to go with the flow. Got to roll with the punches. So if you want to be successful, you got to work on you. Whatever's going on inside here is a reflection of what you see out here. So if you feel inside here, I hate myself, I'm stupid, I'm no good, everyone thinks like this of me, I'm this, I'm that, well, you're going to see that. That's what you're going to experience. That's going to be your life. Once you start changing your inner life and you start realizing that, yo, man, you're here for a reason. You're the most beautiful soul. You're completely unique, one of a kind. You are part of this plan. You are meant for greatness. You are greatness. The universe lives inside of you. I am more than the eye can see. The world's strength and power rest inside of me. For a while, I was saying that 25 times a day. And then all of a sudden, I started believing in my own greatness. And then all of a sudden, my world shifted. And I live in a world of greatness, and I see blessings and beauty every single day. So everything I have, you can have it and more. But you need to start believing in yourself. You need to start thinking that you are great. You are a magical, infinite being with infinite possibilities. Never think there's any limits. There is none. Anything is limitless. The universe is limitless. Therefore, you're limitless, because we are a being of the universe. God created me. God created the universe. What's going on here? I'm hearing a cat. Z, stop. God created me. God created the universe. The universe is infinite. God is infinite. I am infinite. If you don't like the word God, then the universe is infinite. The universe created you. Okay? So just tell yourself that I'm infinite. And sometimes what I do is that when I breathe in, so I'll do the infinity symbol. Okay? So I'll do the infinity symbol. So I'll imagine pure white light through my breath in and out, and in and out. And I'll just imagine infinite. And I'll tell myself, I am infinite being. I'm an infinite being. And I feel like it feels good. Just feels good. And infinite possibilities come your way. Literally, I'm the luckiest person I know. I am so lucky. If I ever lose something, it pops up. I find money everywhere. Money just flows into my life all the time. If you're like, I'm the unluckiest person, well, you think you're the unluckiest person because you keep telling yourself you're the unluckiest person. And because you believe that you're the unluckiest person. You need to shift that. You need to reprogram your brain. It's time to reprogram your brain. And it's super easy to do. It's just every day takes a little bit of work to reprogram. So when you get negative thoughts, you need to tell them to shut up. And you tell yourself, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, I'm amazing. When you notice yourself judging someone, like, oh my God, look at that person. You'd be like, love, 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 love. One negative thought, you need 5 positive thoughts, okay? So one negative thought, you need 5 positive thoughts. So let's reprogram our brain. So anytime a negative thought comes, you need 5 positive thoughts. And you need to start journaling. When you journal, don't talk about negative things, okay? Just talk about positive things. And one day you're going to find that journal that you wrote 4 years ago and be like, wow, that was an amazing day. Yeah, that was an amazing day. Because when we write negative things, we remind ourselves of all these negative things that we want to vent. It's okay to vent, but vent it like 1-2 times. That's it. Moving on, get over it, and moving on. You know what I mean? Today's a new day. Today's a new day. New happy feelings, everything. So I have a journal that I only wrote positive things, and it's like, wow, that was a good year. It's because I didn't focus on the negative. And then when I focus on the positive grows, man. Okay? So it's like a garden. If we focus on the garden and love the garden and keep nourishing the garden and putting water in the garden, it keeps growing. If we ignore the garden and just focus on the weeds and like, oh, look at the weeds, look at the weeds, look at the weeds, you know? If we don't focus on the garden's not going to grow because we're like, oh man, we need to nourish that. If you don't realize that you need to nourish your brain, you need to nourish your soul, well, then you're going to have cobwebs there. So it's time for you to start nourishing your mind. Oh, I think she has cramps. Oh. Okay? So, 2 videos in 1 week. Yeah! See? Just gotta go. Just gotta do it. So my first video, if you haven't watched it, it was me being like, my goal is to do 1 video a week. And I've been consistent. And now this week I did 2 videos. So is it going to keep going? I don't know. I have no clue. But I love that you're on this journey with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share this video with your friends. And feel free to leave a comment. Love you guys. Bye.